So I'm dressed as beautiful as my story. It is very intentional. The dressing was very intentional. Um, Ryan, can we start now? Okay, so I am originally from Zimbabwe. I was born in the remote city of Masvingo, and I grew up in dire poverty. That is a picture of me years later. In my home, we struggled for resources. We were 8 children in the family, and I never had a lunchbox to school. I never had school shoes, and most of the time when I went to school, my uniform was torn and broken, and that affected my performance. Even though I always came out as the best student, I then became a primary school teacher because I thought I could then identify and help other children that I taught to have a better life. But by that time I was dreaming because I was in Zimbabwe. That is one of the schools that I taught. So every day I was triggered of my own childhood traumas because of what I saw. So that picture is talking about, I'm fast forwarding because of my seconds. It's talking about the tribulations, the challenges that I faced to be where I am right now. From there, I married an abusive husband, as if my childhood wasn't enough. That abuser really made my life more difficult than what it was. I thought that since he had all the resources, my life was going to be better, but I never enjoyed his riches because he was abusive. So my life had been a life of pain, and being here today, the abuse and the childhood trauma are my reasons of surviving. And what was my source of strength when I was in school was to lie under a tree. I used to get revived. I used to get energized by just lying under a tree. When I came to South Africa, I came to join my husband. I then divorced the abuser, and then I married my current husband. He has been a good man from day one. And so I came here because of marriage. We struggled as well. So the fight against poverty has been part of my journey. It has been my life, trying to find solutions to poverty, because where I come from, it's something that is normalized. So I grew up also in church where we believed that prayer is the answer to everything, but I started thinking otherwise because I would pray and fast, but things were not changing. So my story is of changing myself from nothing to something through hard work, and also like making the right choice to leave an abuser. And I'm that fortunate that I left when I was still alive. So every time I live in the township, I don't want to leave the township. I want the other women to see me as a resemblance of changing your life from poverty to prosperity, and also to change from a victim to a survivor. I've survived gender-based violence. It's not easy. I live with the wounds. I stepped out of my rigid Christian beliefs to find tools that actually help me to survive, like meditation and yoga, which was really very challenging. And also going back to my people with the new beliefs, it was another challenge. But I knew that if I could overcome a murderer who could have taken my life, I can overcome whatever comes my way. And the fact that I left an abuser and got a good man 14 years later, I still say the same thing. In the first marriage, we couldn't have children for 5 years. I think it was because my body had suffered a lot of trauma, and also the fact that when I was growing up, I didn't have nutritious food. So that changed. That is why I do the work I do. I help the poor, providing safe spaces for women that are abused. I help the poor through food. We started a community kitchen during lockdown within our home. I've got a very understanding husband that takes whatever wild dreams I have. That is why our organization is called Intervisionary. It's International Visionary. I believe in the wildest dreams and things that are very impossible to be impossible. Just for me to stand here is something that might be impossible in a day-to-day life of a township woman, but I'm here. So Our motto is yes, we can. I've managed to work with people irregardless of being a foreign refugee. I've managed to be trusted by big organizations to work with me. I've endured, I think you saw the slide where I lost both my grandfathers, my paternal grandmother and my grandmother from my mother's side. I lost them within a space of 5 days, and my brother was in Kruski Hospital, fighting for his life that time. So that was a huge highlight for me, and that is the time that we had to sign up the contract with Rotary. So I had to keep my energy together so that I can actually be able to be present in the meetings to secure the contract with Rotary, with a brother in UIC, and then my grandmother's being buried back at home, and then this big huge contract which was going to change the organization from working in the home into having a space where the children and the women could come. So I found a lot of strength in that. You need to stay focused no matter what challenge you are facing. Yesterday I lost one of my mentors, one of my mother's brothers, who used to buy me shoes when he comes and saw me walking on foot. But I managed to be here today because I felt that this is a tribute to him, that I'm this woman that I've become today. And even though he hasn't been buried yet, I feel that his spirit is at peace, knowing that I'm standing here strong as I am. And also that in my first marriage, I was despised as a black woman. You know how the culture despises a woman who can't have children, but God made it possible for me to have a child after 2 weeks in my marriage with my husband. We are blessed with my son that you see there. I stand in my power as a businesswoman, as a philanthropist, as a life coach, and believe that any woman who decides to stand in a power and use her divine feminine energy to change her own life. My story is of changing your own life from what you have, not from what is external. And I believe that God allows me to go and do yoga and practice meditation and embrace any other religious activities that I feel work within my life, and still God loves me, regardless of how my community judges me on that. Thank you.